But it's beautiful.
Okay. Well, thank you for that very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just copacetic.
Soulful.
Very. So you were going to tell us about the story behind that piece of music.
Well, it's called Adios no Niño, which means goodbye grandfather. And Piazzolla, to him the most important person in his life was his grandfather. That's who inspired him. So when his father passed away, he was very, of course, sad, and he wrote that very touching piece.
I see. And you were mentioning that during the, when I was reading you were traveling, your friends redid your apartment when you were traveling because you were visiting your family after your father passed away. And I saw a picture of your dad. Tell us a little bit about your family.
Well, my father, he was actually a very incredible human being, but he was a cancer research scientist, but very artistic. I mean, he could paint beautifully, and he can sit down and play piano even he never took a lesson in his life.
Wow.
And he was very spontaneous character, and he's the one who actually exposed us to foreign countries. When I was 13 years old, he insisted to take a trip to Italy for 1 month. So he and my mother and me went. And at that time, nobody from Russia could even go abroad. But he had colleagues, scientists in Rome, who made invitation and guaranteed so many things that the government could let us go. But it changed my life, that trip. You know, going to foreign country and seeing the beauty and art, especially Italy.
Italy,
I came back
so
like a
divine,
different person.
Now, we were talking about the elements. What were we referring to when we talked about the elements of the
I
music?
mean, because I put love, fire, and water at my program. Because I think, like, music expresses so much more than just expresses the emotions. And
Right.
you know, I travel a lot, and I spend a lot of time on the ocean, so I love water. So I put
I
few
do too.
pieces reflecting on the water. I'm playing like block poems of the sea, then Liszt, Fountain, and then Clair de Lune by Debussy. So that's kind of reflecting on the water.
Right, right.
And fire is because of the tangos and bolero and
Sure.
Spanish stuff. And
Sure.
usually I'm playing Manuel de Falla fire dance always at the concert for the encore. And love is for like Chopin and Schubert. I'm playing like Swan Song and Nocturne, Dedication. They're really love songs.
So when you decide to do you're going to do a concert, how do you pick not just the pieces, but what order? Like, do you try to create sort of a rhythm for the whole evening?
Yeah, I always begin slow and build it up. Every half, like I play softer and more subtle pieces, and then slowly build it towards the end. So I'm beginning with Schubert's Swan Song, which is delicate, beautiful piece. And then I'm finishing with block Poems of the Sea, first half.
Okay.
And second half I'm beginning with Nocturne of Chopin and Ballade. That's deep pieces. And then I'm playing Spanish and Bolero, so it's building up.
Oh, I see. Very good.
So
Beautiful.
I always do that, like a waves.
All right.
Yeah.
So, let me encourage folks to come to Carnegie Hall and on Friday, June 12th, 8 p.m. and to see Katya Grineva do this wonderful music. And I just love this picture of you here. Take a look at your CD cover, and I assume this is available through all the normal channels for getting a classical music
something we
CD.
often talk to musicians about is collaboration, because so many musicians come to us in a band or in a group. Or so, do you ever work with other musicians?
As a conductor.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I bond with conductors because I mean there's so many great concertos written for the piano. Like one of my favorites is Rachmaninoff No. 2. So yeah, my best friend is a conductor, so I'm always in touch with conductors.
I see. Great. Well, that's important. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, these are solo works. So tell us a little bit about when you get together in an orchestra. What's that like? How do you fit yourself into that? How does that
I
work?
play usually concerto, and they accompany me, so I'm a soloist. But it's interesting to work with orchestra because then you're like in a conversation with them. So you're not alone, and it has to be perfect. Like when I'm alone, I can do whatever I want.
Right.
There, I really have to agree.
Because you're fitting in with
So
other
I'm
people.
with somebody
Of
else.
course.
Yeah.
Sure. That's interesting.
And isn't it different to have the sort of the music behind
Yeah.
you, like
It's not easy actually. It's harder. For me, it's easier to do
to play
solo
by yourself?
program.
Yeah.
I'm so used to playing
Sure.
solo.
All right. Great. How long do you practice usually? What's your practice schedule regimen?
If I'm free, I could play like 7-8 hours a day. But if I have appointments, I always keep like 3-4 hours just to practice, and then I do whatever I have to do.
How about some advice in the last couple of minutes of the show to young pianists out there or young classical
somebody who's
fans out
interested
there
in
if they're
having a
interested?
musical career.
Yeah.
I feel like you always have to stick to what you want and follow your dreams, and they come true.
Yeah, they
Okay.
certainly
Sooner or
can,
later.
yeah.
I see. Very
Yeah,
good.
Especially in this
Okay, hear that?
country.
All right.
In this country, they do.
Right. Even though, as you were saying earlier, the education level you felt was not as strong here as it is. I'm a teacher, and I sort of agree with you.
It's a system, you know. I think, I mean, if you go to simple school in Moscow, you also will have very little music. But the thing is that in Russia, everybody will go into music schools after the main school.
I see.
Here, it's not like that.
Right,
it's
not so
only
much.
people who are really interested that will teach the kids. So some kids, they never even know what it is.
Right. That's
You
very
know?
true.
And I think it's important for them to know,
Okay.
you know.
Thank you very much, Katya Grineva, for joining us on Let Them Talk. I'm Paul DiRienzo with Miss Joan Marie Musi, and we'll see you next week. We have some interesting shows planned in the next couple of weeks, and you can always check us out on our at our site pdr.autono.net, and you can see a video of this program later on. And Katya Grineva, thank you very much for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
Yeah,
It's my
really
pleasure.
appreciate
Yes,
you coming.
and good
It's
luck
great
at
to
your
have you.
11th program at Carnegie Hall.